Hello everyone. So I have brought chapter number 8 here for you. And the good news is that chapter number 8 is a very short extension of chapter number 7. So I hope you have learned chapter 7 well. Well, since there is a good news, there should be a bad news as well. So the bad news is that there is a small tricky change in the model when we go from variable overhead to fixed overhead, but we will talk about it in detail as we approach it. So let's just get into the similarity and the easier portion first. Okay, actually, just to kind of put the chapter in perspective, let me try to recall that chapter 7 was basically about direct material and direct labor variances. Chapter 8 is about indirect cost variances. Indirect cost, as you will recall, are also called manufacturing overhead costs. So there are three types of manufacturing costs in a company. Total manufacturing cost of a company is three items: direct material, direct labor, and then manufacturing overhead. These two we did in 7, and this is the one we are attacking in 8. And therefore, a lot of similarities between the two chapters. Okay, let's get some of the definitional stuff out of the way. First thing, manufacturing overhead are manufacturing costs, which are neither material nor labor, but all indirect production costs. Okay. Second thing, just to refresh your memory, we can break up the manufacturing overheads into those which are variable and then those which are fixed. Variable overheads are those that change with activity level, meaning if I spend more machine hours, I'm likely to have more electricity charges. On the other hand, no matter how many machine hours or labor hours I use, my rent or my mortgage or my security or my insurance remains the same. So those are examples of fixed overhead. Okay. Fixed overhead framework, overhead framework, I'm sorry, is slightly different. Why? When we talk about, for example, material and labor, it is easy for us to say how much raw material was used, how many hours were used. Okay, we can't really say the same thing about rent, for example, and therefore overhead asks a slightly different question. Was the utility capacity of the plant utilized as we budgeted it, or did we underutilize it or overutilize it? That's why this only new thing in the chapter is what we kind of pay a lot of attention to. Remember, this one happens only in fixed overhead, which means your variable overhead model is exactly the same as chapter 7. There is a small change in fixed overhead model where we are going to talk about volume variance. Some books also call it production volume variance, but both mean the same thing. Okay. Okay. One thing before we get into the analysis deeper is your revisit of what is favorable or unfavorable. Okay. A favorable variance typically means that you made more units than what you planned. Okay, because planning making more units can always be good for the company. Okay, unfavorable means that your production was below the planned capacity. We will talk about favorable and unfavorable when we have the actual example in front of us also. Now let us talk about the only new thing we are learning in this chapter, which is why do we have volume variance in fixed overhead? And a simple answer to that question is that fixed overhead costs, okay, cannot be on a per unit or per hour basis. For example, I can't say how much of my rent is per hour because my rent is almost like per month. Okay, so all we can do is to compare the capacity of the plant with the actual capacity utilized, and therefore we will see that fixed overhead will have the amount or the volume of production as our yardstick comparison. Okay, we'll explain a little bit more when we go in. Okay. Here is a simple example that I have put together. Okay, we have a bottle fresh juice company which is giving you some standards. Standard, remember, is the same thing as budgeted numbers. So you are given budgeted overhead rate, fixed overhead rate. You are given budgeted production of 10,000 bottles and standard machine hours used for 10,000 bottles is 1,000 hours. So now if you combine these two factors together, you can say that for 10,000 bottles, I was allowed to use 1,000 hours, right? So for one bottle, I would be allowed to use, I'm cross multiplying, 0.1 of an hour for each bottle. So this is the standard quantity of input allowed. Okay, we'll use that when we make our third column in the analysis. So now combining this and this together, we can say the amount of variable overhead that this company budgeted is 4,000. Similarly, the amount of fixed overhead that this company budgeted, combining the number of budgeted hours and budgeted rate, is 6,000. Everybody with me? Okay. Now let's look at some actual information. Actually, they produced 11,000 bottles, which means a lot more than what they planned. Actual machine hours worked naturally are higher. Okay. Actual variable overhead incurred is higher than what they planned. Okay. This number is also higher than what they planned. Now we are going to analyze it and figure out why it happened, who is responsible, etc., etc. Okay, let's dig in. So this one, I just copied the information here from the previous slide, the information that is given to us in the question, both for budget as well as for the actual numbers. And just to kind of make a comparison between chapter 7 and chapter 8, I transform the data that I'm given into actual column, static column, and flexible column. Remember, this used to be our level 2 analysis in chapter 7, where we said this column is based on actual quantity, this column is based on budgeted quantity, and then we borrow the actual quantity here, okay, to make the flexible column, and we borrow the rates from here. We will talk about it. Remember, what is this number? This number here, you can see, is 1,000 times 4, which is budgeted quantity times budgeted rate. This one is also 1,000 times 6, which is budgeted quantity and budgeted rate. Okay. Here, this 1,100. Okay. I want to put an asterisk here so that you can calculate. For 11,000 bottles that they actually produced, because the standard quantity of input allowed is 0.1 of an hour, this is 1,100 hours are allowed for actual quantity. It's almost saying I will give you 1/10 of an hour to make each unit. If you make 1 unit, I'll give you 1/10 of an hour. You make 10 units, I'll give you 1 hour. You make 1,000 units, I'll give you 10 hours, and so on. So I'm doing the math in my head. Okay. For 11,000 units, I will allow you 1,100 hours. Just like for 10,000 units, I allowed you 1,000 hours. Makes sense? So 1,100 hours are allowed. Now this number is, I'm going to write it here, 1,100 times 4, which is the rate I budgeted from here. So standard quantity of input allowed for actual output, I'll put a star here, okay, multiplied by budgeted or standard rate. This is the same thing. Okay, so this is the most crucial detail I want you to remember. In fact, I want to change my pen color so that I can emphasize what I'm talking about. For fixed overhead, flexible budget number and static budget number is always the same. Okay, we will go into this detail when I come to fixed overhead so that I can kind of concentrate on fixed variable overhead for the time being. But remember this, we are putting this fact on a back burner and we are going to revisit this one in detail. Okay, but rest of the slide, I hope, is okay. Let's go into variable manufacturing overhead analysis. Once again, I copied all the information so that you can see where the numbers are coming from. Now we are ready to make our 3-column model. Okay, what is this? This is my actual model. column. This is my flexible column. And I borrow the actual quantity from here, and I borrow the standard rate from here, and I make, just like chapter 7, a middle column. You can call this column anything. You can call it Sahe, you can call it middle column, but this is just a position holder so that I can hold one thing constant, quantity constant on the left side, and compare the rates, and hold the rate constant on the right side and compare the quantity. Okay, so now I copied the machine hours actual from here. I copied the 1100 from the previous slide. Remember, this number is 11,000 times 0.1. Okay. Standard quantity of input allowed for actual output. Okay. Now, this is the variable overhead rate I am given right here. And this is the multiplication. Okay. Standard quantity of input allowed for actual output, 1100 multiplied by standard rate of 4. Okay, just like before. Okay, this one is just a number that I'm given. I can't do anything about that. Okay, here I am borrowing, okay, actual quantity that I have actual input quantity. Okay, and I multiply it by the standard rate of $4. So 1150 times 4, okay, is actual quantity of input multiplied by standard rate is what I have in the middle. Everybody okay? This is where the three numbers of the three columns come together. Just like in chapter 7, I'm not doing anything new. Now let us try to calculate the variances. Okay, so far I just copied the table, nothing new. I'm just going to start talking about the variances. So now if I call this one column 1, column 2, and column 3. The difference between column 1 and column 2 is spending variance. Notice I spent a lot more in actual than what my budgeted rate would have allowed me to. So spending more can never be good for the company. So my spending variance of $230 is unfavorable. Okay, let us look at the second one, which is efficiency variance. Okay, in efficiency variance, my rate is $4 here and my rate is $4 here. But here my number of hours are 1100 and here my number of hours are 1150, which means I used 50 hours more than what the company was expecting me to use, which means my use of machine hours was inefficient. And therefore, I see an unfavorable efficiency variance. Okay, needless to say, when I combine the two, okay, this plus this, I will get the flexible budget variance of 430U, because 230U plus 200U, I'm allowed to add just like natural numbers. You can also see, if I kind of clean up the slide a little bit, that flexible budget variance is nothing but the difference between actual cost and flexible budget cost. So difference between this number and this number is my flexible budget variance. Again, needless to say, whenever the number to the left is bigger than number to the right, because the left column is an actual column, okay, actual cost being more than budgeted cost is always unfavorable for the company. So if you have any trouble remembering whether a variance is favorable or unfavorable, then you can just remember that if the number to the left is bigger than number to the right, then it is an unfavorable variance. Okay, we'll practice it one more time when we go to fixed overhead variances. Okay, all right. Now let us go to the tricky part, as we say. So far, I just copied the information as before so that you know where the numbers are coming from. Okay, let us try to make the three columns. And this is where most of the difference is coming. Okay, so this column is exactly the same as before. Actual cost incurred never changes. Okay, this is the real difference between chapter 7 first half of chapter 8, and now fixed overhead. Okay. Everywhere else, this column was a combination of something from here and something from here. In fixed overhead, we simply copy the overhead that we had budgeted at the beginning of the year. Okay. And as I showed you earlier, my flexible budget is always the same. Why? Even if I'm going to make 100 units less, my rent is not going to remain, not going to change. My security is not going to change, right? And therefore, regardless of the number of units budgeted fixed overhead and flexible fixed overhead remain the same. Okay. So now, because I'm using flexible budget overhead in the middle, I needed a new name for the third column. I'm calling it applied. It is only the name change because the calculation is exactly the same as all other models before. Budgeted hours allowed for actual output multiplied by the budgeted rate. That remains the same. Okay. Now let us see. Okay, let me just clean this one up. Okay. What is the definition of middle column? Budgeted hours multiplied by budgeted rate. Okay. Standard hours is the same thing as budgeted hours, and fixed overhead rate is the budgeted fixed overhead rate, which is the same thing as budgeted fixed overhead rate. What is the difference between this and this? This is standard hours allowed. This is standard hours. Okay. So this is the number that I must have planned in my New Year's party in my budget because I didn't know any of the actual numbers before. Okay. So for the fixed overhead, okay, this number is written too far down, so I can't circle it, but I'm going to clean it up here and show it to you. Okay, let us see what the numbers look like. I copied this number easy enough over here. Okay, I copied this number over here, which was the budgeted fixed overhead given to me. This one I am calibrating. Remember, for 11,000 units, I was allowed 0.1 of an hour. I did this one before. And the rate that I'm given here, okay, is $6 per machine hour. So this calculation of 1100 hours multiplied by 6 remains exactly the same as before, except that I'm changing the name. Okay. Now I am allowed to go on and calculate my variances. My first variance remains exactly the same as before. I spent more. Number to the left is bigger than number to the right. So I'm dealing with an unfavorable variance. I spent more by $300 than what the budget would have allowed me to. Okay. And here is the only, okay. Actually, this one, I should say before I say only. Flexible budget has moved the name in the middle. So spending variance just for fixed overhead is also called flexible budget variance because actual minus flexible is always equal to flexible budget variance. So this is the tricky part of this model, that the names kind of bounce around. And here is the only new thing of this chapter, which is the volume variance or production volume variance. One thing, it's a difference between these two. Okay. So 6,000 minus 6,600. Okay. 6,600, you already know the breakup. Okay. What is the breakup here? 10,000, each unit allowed 1 hour, 1,000 hours at the rate of 6. So if you look at these two columns, column 2 and column 3, you can notice that the only difference between the two columns is this, the volume of production. This was your budgeted production. This is your actual production. That's why this is called volume variance. And if you produce more, which is what you did, okay, you are going to apply more overhead. So now this is favorable for two reasons. One, you produced more units. Okay, so producing more units is good for the company. Second, this is favorable is the same thing as over applied overhead because you applied this much, 6,600, whereas you can see Your actual overhead is lower, your budgeted overhead is lower. Okay, so if you apply more, okay, it will be over applied, which is what this one is called. Over applied overhead. Notice this one is $300 unfavorable, this one is $600 favorable. If I combine the two, add the two, that is, okay, they're almost like opposite sign numbers. So when I combine the two, I get actual overhead of 6,300, applied overhead of 6,600. Actual minus applied is equal to under applied or over applied, which in this case is over applied. Why? I applied it to 11,000 units and therefore more than my budgeted number of units produced. Okay, so as I said, let me change the color one more time. This name and this name, okay, are two new things in chapter 8, and this column is the next new thing in chapter 8. Rest of the chapter is exactly the same as chapter 7. Okay, all right. So here I have a summary of all the formulas for you. Remember, for variable overhead, we have two overheads going on. Spending variance, I need to change my color. Spending variance, for which here is the definition. When is it favorable? Whenever it's unfavorable is also given. Second overhead is efficiency variance. Okay, it measures your efficiency. Here is the formula, and favorable and unfavorable. Okay, on the right side you have fixed overhead variances. Okay, first is the calculation of applied overhead, which is the same thing as column 3. And then you have spending variance, and then you have the fixed overhead volume variance. For each one of them, you have the definition and you have the favorable and unfavorable. That's all we have for you. Have a great day. I will see you soon.